What's up everybody, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an OG triple Kanto fossil team comp in the Fossil Cup. Basically a team comp consisting of Aerodactyl, Omastar and Kabutops. And honestly, this team is a true representation of what the Fossil Cup should look like. Obviously, most people are not running fossil Pokemon because they're pretty bad in this meta, dominated by steel types and mud boys. Obviously, Cradily is probably an exception. It does well against some water types. But honestly, all three of these Pokemon, like I just mentioned, are not very good for PvP and especially in this particular cup because they really struggle against majority of the meta, right? You have Pokemon like Poliwrath, Swampert, Registeel, Lucario, etc., which kind of beat this entire team. So this team honestly struggles against a large majority of the meta, which is why it's very hard to get wins with this team comp. But overall, I had a lot of fun with it. We did get absolutely hard countered in certain situations, but we managed to pull out a couple of wins as well. So there's some really fun battles in here, and let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here, we have Aerodactyl into Poliwrath. Like I mentioned, one of the hard counters for this team. At least I'm going to stay in with Aerodactyl because at least we're resisting the mud shots here. I have to shield this because Scald will one-shot the Aerodactyl. Obviously, all three of these Pokemon are pretty glassy as well, which makes it even harder. And I'm just going to go for the Earth Power right now. I'm really hoping they no-shield this. They probably think it's a Rock Slide or something because I need this Poliwrath out of here, right? But of course, they choose to shield that. That puts us in a very difficult spot. So I'm now going to switch into my Omastar to catch the Scald here. Now, Scald is only neutral on Omastar because of the Rock Water typing. And I'm hoping I can get to a Rock Blast, and I'm barely able to get to a Rock Blast. Now, this is resisted and also debuffed, but I'm really hoping it gets a shield. It does get the shield, which is used and also ends up being a CMP tie here. This is absolutely perfect. And they go for the Dynamic Punch. They're completely dry on energy right now. So I'm going to come in with my Aerodactyl, and then I'm going to commit one shield and try and farm this Poliwrath all the way down here, right? Because an Aerodactyl with energy can be really devastating in this meta. I'm going to shield this up here. It is going to be a Scald, and I'm really hoping it actually ends up being a Dynamic Punch, which is interesting. And I'm going to try and farm it down before they can get to a move, but they make a switch into their Walrein right now, so which is why I decided to go for the Rock Slide here. The Rock Slide does massive damage on the Walrein, and I should be able to farm down with Rock Throw. This is perfect. Back in comes Poliwrath, but I don't think I can farm down now because they can get to a move, and Charge Move is going to be coming through. It is going to be a Dynamic Punch. It does take out the Aerodactyl. I'm going to come back with my Kabutops, try and farm down, and hopefully whatever they have in the back is weak, right? They have a Pelipper in the back, the one Pokemon I wanted to see. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge right now, and is Stone Edge going to knock out the Pelipper? It one-shots the Pelipper right there, and Kabutops is able to take the win. Honestly, Kabutops is a pretty insanely high attack stat. It's so glassy, but also, the fact that it has a high attack stat works out in situations like that. Another absolutely terrible lead here against Ferrothorn, and this time I can't really even switch to catch because the backline is even worse against Ferrothorn. Because both Kabutops and Omastar are double weak to grass. I do let the first one go through. Power Whip is neutral, but still does about 80% of Aerodactyl's health. I go for the Earth Power. I'm hoping they no shield because we didn't shield, but of course they shield that. And at this point, this game is already over because we have absolutely no response against a Ferrothorn. I'm going to obviously shield this up because this will easily one-shot here. And then I'm going to try and build up a lot of extra energy and they get to another one. At this point, this game is like I said, it's almost over because we're not even able to take out the Ferrothorn, but they make a switch into their Lucario. I'm going to try and bait with Rock Blast here. Again, Lucario is another Pokemon that beats this entire team. Going for the Rock Blast and they no shield that. That is absolutely huge. That's not good for me. And also now I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump right now, going for the kill shot. One shots the Lucario there. Probably could have gone for it right off the bat. But back in comes Ferrothorn, and honestly, we have no response for it. My only win con here is coming in with my Kabutops and then trying to catch a move on the Aerodactyl, but unfortunately we failed the catch and I decided top left there. I guess hitting top left is standard procedure when you use team comps like these. It's very, very difficult. Another Ferrothorn on the lead, getting absolutely hard countered right now. And yeah, this is just not looking good at all, right? Again, Ferrothorn is one of the most difficult Pokemon to handle, honestly, for this team comp. I'm going to have to shield this up. This time they actually go for Thunder, so it's a good thing we shielded that. And they make a switch into their Water Gun Pelipper. Now, this is a very interesting Pokemon. Typically most people don't run Water Gun, but that's actually not good for Aerodactyl. I go for the Rock Slide, does get the shield. Immediately switching to my Omastar right now. We can tank a Weather Ball because it's only neutral. And I'm going to try and go for the Rock Blast here. I'm going to overfarm by one and then go for the Rock Blast right now. Hopefully this knocks out the Pelipper or gets their shield. It does get the shield, that's fine. And at this point, I'm actually going to let it go through. I need to preserve at least one shield for Kabutops because that thing is so glassy. So I'm going to come in, probably come in with my Kabutops here. And then I'm going to try and go for a Stone Edge right now. But they make a switch into their Lucario. I'm going to try and go for the Water Pulse right now. This is going to do massive damage against Lucario. As you can see there, it just does so much. Does about 70% of Lucario's health. Immediately switch into my Aerodactyl. Unfortunately, they get to a move here. I'm going to have to shield this. And because these Rock Throws are double resisted, they're going to be able to get a couple of counters in, right? And as you can see, those boosts boosted counters did so much damage to a point where I cannot get to a Rock Slide against the Pelipper, and Pelipper is able to get to a move against the Kabutops. And that's going to take the win for them there. So, I mean, there's no way we could have won that because they still had a Ferrothorn on the back and we had no answer to that anyways. Moving into the next battle here, we have Aerodactyl into a Magneton, not the greatest lead, but at least we have okay responses in the back. And they make a switch into their Escavalier. This is where I make a bit of a mistake. I try and go straight for the Hydro Pump. I probably should have just gone Rock Blast. And also we end up losing CMP on the Hydro Pump, which means that we have to burn a shield and also waste. I mean, basically, I know they're going to probably shield this, right? At least, I mean, if I'd gotten off 2 Rock Blasts, we could have gotten either both shields or some solid damage onto the Escavalier. But I'm going to come into my Aerodactyl and completely farm down every move that Escav has is resisted by Aerodactyl, but they actually go for the Acid Spray, which is really nice. Although those counters are now adding up after the Acid Spray, that's okay. They come back with their Magneton. I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power, right? I'm really hoping they think it's a rock move and no shield this. But of course they shield that. Now we're in kind of a tricky situation because Kabutops is going to get easily one-shot by a discharge. So I'm going to shield this up and hopefully I can outpace to the next move. I'm going to try and get to a Water Pulse here, but they make a really nice switch to catch the Water Pulse on their Mantine. So this is not good for me. I mean, it could have gone for Stone Edge. Stone Edge would have probably one-shot the Mantine. But at this point, my only win con is to overfarm as much as I can, right? I know I cannot afford to shield this. I mean, it's going to be a Bubble Beam. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to have to overfarm and probably farm up to 100 energy here. So I'm going to go for max energy right now and then throw the Stone Edge just before they can get to a Bubble Beam. Stone Edge will easily one-shot the Mantine even though it's debuffed from this range. I'm immediately going to switch in my Aerodactyl, force them to throw, but ends up being a double knockout there. So I was expecting them to throw right away, but which is why I switched. But ended up working out anyway. We are 2-2 in this set right now. Let's see if we can pull out a positive set. We are met with a Cradily, which is, again, this is not the worst thing for Aerodactyl. I mean, it's a good thing we catch this on the lead rather than in the back because this thing does really well against the back line. But this is not a great matchup for Aerodactyl either, but Aerodactyl is my best response to a Cradily. I'm going to have to go for the Rock Slide here and let's see what they want to do. They, of course, they choose to shield that. And then they're going to go for a move. I'm really hoping they don't bait again with Grass Knot. They actually went for the Stone Edge the first time and they go for the Stone Edge again. That's perfect for me. And I'm going to try and go for another Rock Slide here. I'm really hoping they let this go through because I need this Cradily out of here. But of course they shield that. And at this point I'm going to stay in and hopefully, I mean, I can come in with my Omastar and get to a move before they can get to theirs. So I'm going to come in with my Omastar right now. We're going to take a lot of damage from Bullet Seeds, but hopefully I can get to a Rock Blast and I'm barely able to get to a Rock Blast here. Rock Blast will be taking out the Cradily and hopefully whatever they have in the back is weak to rock, which is very unlikely because again most Pokemon in this meta are very strong against rock. I know I can't get to a Hydro Pump, which is why I decided to pull the trigger on the Rock Blast, and this is sadly not going to be enough to KO, and yeah, I'm going to have to switch because they're going to farm down and Kabutops is not going to be able to get to a move in time. Drill Run is going to be super effective in this matchup. It's going to easily one-shot the Kabutops, and then Omastar is not going to be able to get to a move there. So if we had the slight energy lead, I could have gotten a Hydro Pump. It would have been different. But I mean, okay, 2-3 was okay. I mean, we finished with a 2-3 set here. Again, not the best team comp definitely to run, but I mean, I wouldn't say probably one of the worst, I should say, as far as the current meta is concerned. But I guess it was good fun, sort of, you know, going back in time basically, trying out the OG triple Kanto fossil line, right? But overall, I feel like these Pokemon independently, they might have some sort of play. I mean, if you pair it up with some other Pokemon, Kabutops probably not. Even Omastar, honestly, just really doesn't have the best movesets. Aerodactyl for sure, but even though it does struggle in this meta, it's definitely got some sort of play in other metas as well. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.